Welcome to Cake on Tuesday, where we spotlight the rule breakers, the underdogs who refuse to listen when everyone said it won't work. I'm Elizabeth Bieniek, and for the next 20 minutes, we're diving into another disruptive innovation story that proves sometimes the craziest ideas change everything. Today's guest is Cliff Nonnenmacher. Cliff began his entrepreneurial journey at just 8 years old, raking and selling golf balls outside local country clubs. By 19, his food delivery service was handling more than 300 orders a day, long before Uber Eats. At 21, Cliff bought a day trading system, built a portfolio, and used it to earn an investment banking role at Morgan Stanley. After a successful career in finance, Cliff pivoted to franchising, where he's owned, operated, and helped develop several national franchise systems. Today, he's the co-founder of Franosity, host of the Pursuit of Profit podcast, and co-author of the new book, Beyond the Brand, The Entrepreneur's Guide to Fearless Franchising. Cliff, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. Good to see you again. Thank you.
Nice to see you again, too. This is super exciting. All right, so there's so many fun things about your background that I want to jump into. But first, can you start us off by just telling us what sets your soul on fire about what you do, Cliff?
I just love building, scaling, helping people. It's really, to me, as Warren Buffett said, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I really do feel that way. I don't feel like this is work. Even coming on shows and doing all the things that we do, everyone's like, man, you know, the podcast or this and being a guest, like, why do you do it? It's not work. I don't view it. It's not right. It's like what sets your soul on fire. It's doing things that you just love to do, things that energize you, obviously, make you feel good, but also adding a lot of value. Like I'm genuinely here. A lot of people like, you don't do a really good job promoting Franosity. You don't do this, you don't do that. That's because that's not the purpose of the show. The purpose of it is to actually add value to people. And if you do that, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're always in like, you know, uppercut punch mode and you're always trying to like market, people are turned off by that because it's disingenuous. Like you're there just for self-promotion. So I think if I have to answer that question, I mean, I really do enjoy helping people and seeing them build brands and change their life and add another leg on that one-legged income stool that they have because everyone just has a job. Right. Seriously, it's like, man, this is great. I've got multiple revenue streams coming in. I feel like I'm making progress. So that's what sets me on fire.
That's awesome. So I know we had so much fun chatting in our pre-conversation about, hey, I think this could be really fun for the podcast. And I 100% agree with you. I'm not in sales mode. These are just fun. These are just fun conversations. So I'm going to ask all the things I want to know.
Hit me.
All right. So you are in the franchising world. Let's just start with that because I know I personally, and I'm sure a lot of other people too, have had preconceived notions about what franchising entails and what that is. First, to start us off with a level set. When somebody says franchising, what does that mean to you? Because I'm pretty sure it means something different to myself and many people in the audience.
Yeah, to me, it's what we call POC, proof of concept. Of course, I want to start there, right? And that's not always the case, but when someone says franchise, let's say established franchise or a franchise that's been around a while, a franchise with a distribution channel, to me, that's proof of concept. So, okay, you have an idea, you have a brand, you've scaled it across multiple states, maybe multiple cities, different geographic areas, different household incomes, right? Just different markets. That's proof of concept to me. And though that's my definition, you have a playbook, you have a roadmap, you've removed the obstacles, you've made all of the missteps that you could possibly make as an entrepreneur. And now you're ready with a framework to hand to someone with zero industry experience, zero, right? I don't care what you're talking about. Are we talking about senior care? Are we talking about fitness? Are we talking about even an urgent care center? If you're an entrepreneur, or if you're someone that aspires to be self-employed and you have that fire in the belly, as you said, to want to succeed, can you follow a proven system? Can you execute flawlessly? Can you hold other people accountable? Can you get your team to follow you? That's leadership, right? Like, can you do the right thing? Do you have integrity, right? Do you care about your online reputation management? Are you going to care? Are you going to acquire new customers? Are you going to fight like hell to keep them? Can you do those things? Can you check those boxes? Yes. Let's do this. Join.
Yeah.
scale it.
Yeah.
No industry experience. To me, that's franchising. And that's what it did for me. And I say that from experience. A lot of people like consultants. It's like, have you ever done it? No, but I advise people on how to. Like I've owned 12 brands. Like I've done this, you know what I mean? And I know that I never would have been in the printer, cartridge, refilling, and remanufacturing industry. Like, never. Like I only got in that business because someone figured it out. I'm not a techie. I never would have figured out how to reverse engineer the secret chip, the handshake chip on the front of a toner cartridge to tell my HP printer next to me that this is an refilled new or like who would have done that? They did it. I bought the
But
brand. I
you didn't
scaled
go to
for
school and say that's what you wanted to do
no,
for a living when you
never. I didn't even know they were making that kind of money in the printer cartridge business until I started looking into it.
All right, let's
Right.
talk about the kinds of businesses. So I know I think of all the stable, quote unquote, recession proof businesses like plumbing and HVAC and those types of things. And I know those trades are big. What kind of franchise businesses are there out there? I'm sure I'm missing a huge swath of opportunities.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because today, happening in real time on the 29th of June and 26, I just got introduced to a youth enrichment brand that's doing chess playing with students, right? And there are famous actors and actresses putting testimonials on this website that their children are going to it. And I'm like, wow, like Hugh Jackman, How I Met Your Mother actors and actresses. I'm like, wow. Like this is something where I would have said chess. I love chess, by the way. I've been playing chess. I learned how to play chess from my father when I was a young child, and it's a game of strategy, which is why I think chess is
Yeah.
amazing. But other people also believe that, and youth enrichment is a huge category. And then you have, of course, you have a ton of senior care. Then you have, since we're not having babies anymore, now you have everyone wanting to buy a dog, right? So now you've got pets everywhere, right? So anything involving pet care, pet daycare, pet training, right? Pet boarding. I mean,
Yeah.
think about like if you think about all these different industries, logistics. We have a brand that makes window boxes. They're doing 5 million a year making water
Wow.
resistant, self-watering window boxes for the front of your house. They're headquartered in Ohio. We have brands that do custom closets. They're doing 9 million a year. So you look at some of these brands. By the way, anytime you hear a revenue number come out of my mouth, that number will always be in writing in the brand's FDD, which is called a franchise
Mm.
disclosure document under section item 19. Anyone running their mouth about revenue numbers that can't be substantiated in writing, that would actually be illegal in franchise law. So anytime you
Mm.
hear a number come out of my mouth, CertaPro painters, they average 2.1 million a year in revenue. You will find that number in their FDD. So you think about some of these numbers, and I tell people all the time, I go, have you ever watched Shark Tank? They're like, of course. You ever see how excited billionaires get when they ask the guest, what were your revenues last year with their notepad? And they go a
Yeah.
million and they go, whoa. Like who gets excited about a million? The reason they get excited about a million from a guest appearance on Shark Tank is because the average business in America will never see a million in revenue in their lifetime. Less than 6% of businesses in this country will ever do a million ever in their lifetime. That's why a million.
Wow.
And I could stack the deck in franchising with brands that do a million all day long. That's part of my excitement with the industry, right? It's just the exception to the rule of business.
Wow. Okay, this is blowing my mind a little bit. Let's talk about timing too, because I know this is one thing that we talked about of everybody is big on the AI bubble, but that is not going to change the entire world. We still need dry cleaning. We still need everything else that is going on. What do you say to somebody who's saying like, "Oh, if the world's going high tech, everything's going AI is going to replace everything," when in reality, a lot of these businesses, I think they're going to become more important in the future
Mhm.
rather than less. I'm going to make a really complicated long question too, because the other part I want to throw in there as well is so I've heard this thing about a lot of aging business owners are set to retire in the near future, and it's creating this sort of bubble of opportunity to take over existing franchise businesses. Talk to me about those two things on that when we're looking at the broader economic situation right now.
I'm going to start with the last one because it's an easy one to just kind
Okay.
of eliminate because you're right. The first part of that question is more nuanced and
Okay.
I want to get a little granular with it. Let's talk about the aging, graying of America and what that means as it relates to self-employed people. And you're right, there are probably going to be millions of businesses for sale. If you want to hear a startling statistic, I had Jessica Falkovich on my podcast. She is very involved with business brokering and created a brand called Exit Factor. Why? Why would you create a franchise concept called Exit Factor? You ready for this? 85% of businesses on Biz Buy Sell will never find a buyer. 85% of
Wow.
businesses for sale in America will never find a buyer. Why? It's actually an episode on itself. Real quick, why? Number one, they're run by baby boomers. Number two, they have no P&L knowledge at all. Their books are just total trash. They are. Their books make no
Yeah.
sense. Next, many of them did not report what they were earning, right? So the P&L doesn't look good. The net income doesn't look good. And if you know anything about selling a business, it's a multiple of EBITDA. If your EBITDA is 100 grand, you might be able to get a 2.5 to 3.5 times. What does that mean? $250,000 to 350,000 on 100, right? So a 2.5
Mhm.
to 3.5 multiple on maybe making 100 grand. If you're making 50 grand, nobody cares about that. Other issue, why they never find a buyer. So I'd like to buy your business, Mr. Person born in 1940s. Great. So do you work here? Oh yeah. The business relies on my day-to-day involvement. Okay. Well, that's called a job. I'm in the market to buy a business, and a business doesn't require the day-to-day involvement of the owner because they have a team and they have people that execute the business.
Mhm.
Most businesses for sale in this country are what we call chuck in a truck. It's a business being owned and operated and driven around by the owner. Nobody wants to buy your crappy job. So these businesses never find a buyer. It's just a
Huh.
reality. They can't secure funding. You're buying someone's job. And if I bought that brand from that baby boomer who's running it, as soon as I hire a manager to replace him or her, I go net negative on that deal. All of that net income
Mm.
goes straight to my new hire. I actually go net negative. So let's get that off the table. Yes, it's happening. They're crappy businesses. Most of them are not worth anything, which is why they never find a buyer. Now, the AI model. So the whole AI conversation started out like this. Everyone's getting replaced. That whole line is now played out, right? It's like we're exhausted hearing that we're all getting replaced. And I'm more in your camp. I think it's going to go this way. You're either going to become the disrupted or the disruptor. And let me give you an example. It's like, what do you do? What do you do over there? I'm in home care. Okay, the chances of you getting replaced as an employee in the home care space by an optimist humanoid is very high. It's very high
Mhm.
because you have a habit of not showing up for the 85-year-old resident, right? The family's been irritated multiple times. I could read the emails. She's late.
Mhm.
She left early. She didn't show up. There's something missing from the house. There's a bruise on my mom. Like, you could do this all day long. And I'm not saying that the caregiver did all those things. I'm just saying that's the story in that space. Unreliable. And then what's the response to the email? My car got repossessed. My husband lost his job. My this, my that. It's always the same story. And that's why humanoids are going to replace the most unreliable sectors of our economy, or the most repetitious areas of our economy, like appointment setting,
Mm.
appointment reminders, calling into a call center, right? Being routed somehow. All the call centers in India and the call centers in Utah, which is ground zero for call centers, if you don't know this, they're either out of business, or they're going out of business, or they're going out. They just don't know it yet. That's just the reality of what's happening in that space. Like, there's
Yeah.
no need for them anymore. Now, listen to my side. So I believe, let's say I own a home care business. It's like, oh, you're going to get
Mhm.
disrupted. I heard it on it, but no, I'm not. I own the business. I'm going to get rid of, I hate to say this, but I will eliminate some of my human staff, and I'm going to fill the voids of the human staff that I can't even fill. And that's the bigger issue. And that's where humanoids and AI is taking hold. No one wants to work. No one wants to work. Right. So they're complaining about this AI revolution. They're complaining about humanoids. But then I sit there and go, but you even admitted you don't want to work. Like, you don't want to do those jobs. Right. So these two stories can't be true. So as the owner of the home care business, the owner of 1-800 Got Junk, the owner of anything, I will be employing humanoids in the future. I'm going to buy them. And I'm going to buy a humanoid from Tesla, and I'm going to dispatch it to your house and I'm going to have it fix your HVAC system, and I'm going to have it paint your wall, and I'm going to have it repair your back door. It's going to be my handyman. It's going to be my HVAC tech, my plumbing. Once the hand dexterity's there, it's game over for everyone.
Mm,
And that's why I believe the trades today have the furthest distance because of hand dexterity from AI
okay.
disruption. But it's coming. A self-driving truck will show up to our homes, you and I. It's going to show up to our house. A humanoid will exit that self-driving vehicle. They will come to our door. They're going to state why they're there and where they're from. The key now is, are you and I comfortable to invite them in to perform the work? And that's where we're not there.
Mm,
We're not
yeah.
there yet. And of course, you'll hear people say, we're never going to get there. Right. The same way the horse was a family member replaced by the Model T Ford, and everyone resisted it. I don't know if you know the story behind Jeep. It's actually a very cool marketing story. The lights on a Jeep are circular to replicate the eyes of a horse because it was such.
Oh, I have not heard that.
You can look it up. It was wild. There's such a connection between the animal being part of the transportation and a family member that they made the headlights round for those purposes to replicate the animal, which is kind of wild.
That is wild. The whole idea of psychology behind product design and things, I just find that whole field fascinating.
I agree with you.
So that's another piece of this that you brought up when we chatted earlier too, that I want to dig into. You made the comment that a lot of franchise owners don't need to make the same amount that they would have made as an employee to have the same style of living, if you will. Can you expound on that a little bit?
I think creating wealth is not about creating wealth is about tax efficiencies. So like some basic rules, and I'm not criticizing, I'm just sharing my own rules. One rule is I will not live in a state with a state income tax. That's like tax efficiency rule number one, right? There's only 9 states in America, so you're very limited where you're going to go. I happen to live in Florida. It's a tax-free state. It's built into the
I'm in Texas, there for a reason.
You're in Texas. You're a tax-free state. You're there for a reason. So there's number one. So now talk about an employee. Well, what is an employee? An employee is the most tax inefficient entity on planet Earth. Like you're starting out with the deck stacked against you. Well, what do you mean? Well, what do you do? Well, I drive to work every day. You can't deduct your tire wear and tear. You have 0 deductions. The federal government doesn't care if you pay tolls in Manhattan going across a bridge at $20 a day. It doesn't care. You have no tax efficiencies. But as soon as I take that same person and that same route, that same everything, even the same career, and I call them an entrepreneur or a business owner, or they're getting a 1099 now from the same person, everything changes. Your fuel is now an expense to the company. The lease in the vehicle is an expense to the company. The tolls are an expense to the company. Your dry cleaning, because you have to perform, your uniforms, your dry cleaning, expense to the company. Can you imagine the tax efficiencies, the purchasing power that you have when you're doing everything in pre-tax dollars? It's just you can't compete, especially if you live in a state. Your federal taxes are 30. Some of these states are 10. That's 40 cents on the dollar. So when someone in New York goes to the gas pump, they're like, yeah, I fill up gas. It costs me the same $100 it costs Cliff in Florida. No, it doesn't. You're doing it in after-tax dollars, and I'm doing it in pre-tax dollars. They're not even in the same universe. That's the key to me. So when someone says, hey, I'm in IT, I write code, I'm making $250,000, I'm losing my job, I know it. Well, how do you know you're losing your job? Because I'm working with a company now I'm working on replacing all people who write code. These are my clients, by the way, Elizabeth. Like this is it's crazy. It's like, okay, well, you're making 250. You don't need to make 250 as an entrepreneur to have the purchasing power of 250 is my point.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't look at that nuance, and that's an incredibly important nuance.
I think so, because if I ask you, like, what do you make? The numbers are relevant. It's
right.
It really is irrelevant.
When you start talking about purchase power,
exactly. What you care about is your second home, and what you care about is your 4 vacations, and what you care about is the ability to retire uncompromised, and what you care about is sending your kids to private school, and what you care about is just wanting for nothing. The numbers are relevant. It's the lifestyle and the purchasing power that the salary gives you that you care about. Nobody cares about the $100,000, the $200,000, the $300,000. They care about everything else that I said.
Right.
They really don't. I mean, if I said to someone, you're going to make $500,000 a year, but you will never be able to go on vacation, I'm out.
Right.
No, you're going to make $500,000 a year. You're never going to be able to retire. I'm not interested.
Yes.
That's what people care
Yes.
about. We did something back in
Absolutely.
2003. It was why it was as an investment banker, why do people invest? Why do people do these things? We came up with 5 reasons why people actually invest. It's like, Elizabeth, do you need an ETF? No. Do you need a mutual fund? No. Do you need a savings account? No. What do you need? I need to retire uncompromised. That's number 1. I need the
Mhm.
ability to secure my spouse's future. What if we predecease our spouse? That future must be fully intact and secured for them, right? If you care about your spouse, you do, and investors
Right.
do. Number 3, I want to endow a foundation, charity, or church. People do want their name on the front of a building, or they want to give back in some way to their
Yeah.
school, alma mater. They want to give back in some way. They want to intervene meaningfully in the life of a child or a grandchild. That is huge. As we age, legacy is becoming a big issue. And number 5, and again, these are the 5 reasons why we invest. We want to care for an elderly parent. I'm doing it now with 2 parents. They're both in facilities. They strokes, all sorts of issues, left side
Yeah.
paralysis. We need money to care for them. These are the reasons why we invest. No one said anything in there about 30% annualized return,
Right.
fiscal stimulus. No one said anything about salary. These are the reasons why we invest and do what we do. So that's kind of the reason why I made the comment.
Got it. So where in your own journey did this go from? I mean, you've been an entrepreneur since you were 8. Where did it go from, I'm going to build another business, I'm going to do another business for myself, to I'm going to create a business to help other people do this and expand it? What brought you to want to do the company you're doing now, the book, the
Yeah.
podcast? What was that journey like?
When my business partner and I met, we met back in the housing crisis. He was running a gym. I was working with the gym as a VP of development. And we started, he and I, buying failing gyms. So our
Mm,
our idea was, that Warren Buffett top down, bottom up approach. Like, how do you invest? Do you invest from the bottom up? Do you
right.
invest top down? We said, why don't we look at businesses with really strong fundamentals that are being operated by the wrong people, buy those businesses for 10 cents on the dollar, scale them, and then sell them at a nosebleed multiple. And that's what we did. But what we learned was not how to do it. What we learned was sitting across the table with the attorneys at closing. And then that little awkward conversation in the beginning, which is, how did you guys get involved in this? Like, you're about to get paid 10 cents on the dollar. How did you get involved in this? And the answers made absolutely no sense. And that was the
Huh.
moment we realized there's no discipline, there's no due diligence, there's no adherence to any type of investigation, wrote like nothing. Like, does this business fit your personality? Does it fit your phase of life? Does it fit your
Mhm.
goals? Does it fit your investment objectives? Well, what was my investment objective? You said you wanted to see your children play soccer and you wanted to watch your daughter at the dance recitals. So what did you 2 do? You bought a restaurant open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. That was your idea because you said you love food. That's what you said. I love food. So you decided to mortgage your future, never see your kids, and invest in the wrong
Yeah.
business. That's how we
Yeah.
got here. So we decided people need discipline. They don't even know what's out there. Elizabeth, there's 4,000 brands in this country. 4,000. How are you conducting due diligence on that many brands? Right? You need to do
Yeah.
deductive reasoning by eliminating brands and then getting down to a manageable subset to say, okay, these fit your investment level, they fit your income needs, they fit your risk tolerance, they fit the area you reside in and where you want to operate this business. Like snow shoveling in Florida makes no sense. I shouldn't have to like tell anyone that. Like, so certain brands do better in certain areas of the country. They just do.
Yeah.
It's the
I don't
truth, right? I
I don't
mean,
know if you're gonna
go ahead.
like this comparison, Cliff, but it makes me think of it's basically pre-marriage counseling for a business.
Totally. It basically is because you are marrying the franchisor to a degree, and you are
Yeah.
marrying the business. Like, you're fully invested. It's not a job. You can't just be like, "Look, I don't like it. I'm gonna quit."
Right.
Like, you can't do that. You have
Exactly.
to fund an exit, a
You're all
liquidity.
in.
Yes. So it is like that. It's like, look, measure twice, cut once. Let's think this through.
Right.
I do. It's funny you say that because I do tell clients when I meet them in the beginning, it's like, listen, I don't have commission breath. I don't care if you buy anything. I'm here to help you. And I want you to remember this. I want you to be unreasonably selective as to what brand you go with, because it's a huge commitment. Be unreasonably selective. Does it check all of your boxes? It has to
Right.
check those boxes.
Yeah, yeah. This is so fun, Cliff. I could probably talk to you all day. Unfortunately, I do have a timeline here. So if
You do
people
your
want
thing.
to learn more about you, learn more about your business, your podcast, your book, where do they find you?
Go to the website, franocity.com, FRANOCITY.com. We also have the podcast Pursuit of Profit, where we only interview founders of brands. And the purpose of the show is just to add value to the listener. It's just, that's all we do is unpack a brand, 45 minutes once a week. We drop episodes every Wednesday.
Love it, Cliff. Thank you so much for being here on Cake on Tuesday. This was a blast.
I enjoyed it. I hope to come back. Thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining another Cake on Tuesday celebration of beautiful disruption. Please share it, review it, and find more innovative stories at podcast.cakeontuesday.com. I'm Elizabeth Bienik. Be bold, stay curious. Now go have some cake.